Joining us now is Charley Pereira. He is a former investigator over at the National Transportation Safety Board to sort of walk us through what we know here. Charley, good to have you. The U.S. Coast Guard just released that the crew that was following this suddenly lost contact with them about 100 minutes in, an hour and 45 minutes in, yesterday morning after the Titan, which is what this vessel is known as, suddenly went underwater in search for the Titanic. Let's go through step by step here, Charley. If they lost contact 100 minutes in, what does that tell you?
Well, something, clearly a technical problem of some nature. I'm not very familiar with the design or system details of this submarine, but basically you're under tremendous pressure at that depth. As you can see there, 5 people on board. The pressure is the primary threat issue. There also could be external threats. You've got some deep water swordfish and other stuff like that that could potentially impact the communications and structural cables attaching the submarine. So, there's a variety of potential threats.
You talk about pressure. I guess this is very much like a plane, right? You need cabin pressure when you go up, or a submarine needs pressure when it goes down. When we talk about hopefully rescuing, take it from there.
It's significantly different than that. When you're in an airplane and you go up, you have less pressure, and you have to pressurize the interior of the vessel in an airplane to maintain a cabin altitude and proper oxygen levels. When you're going down below the surface of the ocean, just like when you dive down to the bottom of the swimming pool, there's extreme pressure that builds up from the water overhead, and that tries to crush anything below it. And so these vessels are built to withstand that pressure. Of course, you can't have system and structural failures as with any mechanical system. So, there's also external threats, that the various marine life that could get entangled or attack the connection between the vehicle and the surface. So, there's the design threat is the pressure from water trying to get into the vessel and crush the vessel. So that's the threat trying to design against.
Is the question now, Charley, whether they have it or don't have pressurization down there and thus have oxygen?
Well, you don't really need pressurization inside the vessel, although I'm sure that's one way that you could also protect against the vessel being crushed. But again, I'm not familiar with the design element of this particular vessel. The primary threat is the pressure causing a structural failure and water getting inside and the people drowning. Obviously, that's the first concern.
Yeah. According to the site here, you can see OceanGate is the country involved. They say there is life support for 5 on board for 96 hours. It's believed that contact was lost Sunday morning, so we're now probably going on, what is that, around 30 hours. What can be done here, say, in the next 60 to 66 hours?
If the vessel is not tethered and they don't have a means of retrieving it, then short of the vessel itself being able to propel itself to the surface, they would have to get another means of retrieval down to them to bring them up as soon as possible.
This is 2.5 miles below at least the Titanic, and we should stop and point out they were going down there to try to get a glimpse of the Titanic. This is a company that has done this in the past, that runs tours, as you heard Sloan mention there, $250,000 a pop to get to do what is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see one of the most famed events of the 20th century, and that's what brought people to this moment. But going forward, Charley, when we talk about retrieving them, this is, as I mentioned, 2.5 miles down, 2.5 miles deep. Is there any sort of mechanism upon which a private company or the Canadian Coast Guard or the United States Coast Guard has the ability to retrieve these folks?
The United States Navy has what they call soup salve, which we used to partner with every now and then to attempt to recover aircraft wreckage and other vehicle wreckage under the surface. Navy soup salve and the Navy assets are among the premier entities that might be capable of retrieving that. And I'm sure, given the lives that are at stake, that the U.S. government and private industry are exercising all of their options, but they're running out of time. So somebody's going to have to do something really quick with a lot of money and a lot of energy to try to get this done as soon as possible to save lives.
Is there the hope that communications can be restored, or Charlie, do we believe at this point that all communications have been cut off?
There's always hope. You got some smart people down there in that vehicle, and you got a lot of smart people on the surface attempting to engineer away. God's blessed us with a lot of engineering technology and capability, and I'm sure our country and other countries are going to exercise every resource that they have available to them to try to save this crew.
Charlie, you've gone in plenty of times, I take it, when there have been tragedies and learned from them and sort of put the puzzle pieces together to try to figure out what happened and maybe to hopefully prevent things from going forward. If you were the lead in this case, not looking at something from after the fact, but right now, whether you're Canada, the US, this company, or some sort of joint venture, what would you do? Like, how do you game plan this out? How do you try to save these folks? What could be successful?
The first thing you do is have some subordinates contact all of the best technical entities in the world that are associated with it. And then while that's running in the background, you establish communications with the company that is responsible for this vessel. And you get all the facts as soon as possible from them. And you try to establish a game plan, and then you act on that game plan. There's no budgetary concerns. There's no logistical concerns. You just do whatever is necessary to get these people back.
Charlie, I don't mean to cut you off, and it's not your fault, but I'm going to point out, I don't really hear specifics. Is it because we've never seen something like this before, and thus there's not a playbook or there's not some sort of manual as to how to go about it?
Well, I've done aviation, rail, highway, marine, pipeline, hazmat, space shuttles. Everyone is different. And,
right.
You're not equipped with a playbook for each one that says, here's what you do in this case. You use your engineering judgment and your engineering education to engineer the best possible solution as rapidly as possible. I know news media a lot of times wants, immediate action and everybody to know everything, but that's just not how it works. You do the best you can with what you've been blessed with, and then you execute.
Yeah, no, we're trying to be as realistic as possible here. Again, it's an extraordinary circumstance. We're talking about a group that's gone down to try to survey the Titanic, 2.5 miles underneath, underneath the top of the sea. Communication gone, and now the scramble is on to try to find them and save them. 96 hours of life support, says that company. Charley Pereira, former NTSB investigator. Thank you for joining us, for your time, and we appreciate the insight and perspective, sir. Thank you.
No problem. And keep in mind that the end product of this is going to be lessons learned and how to prevent this from happening again. When you have new groundbreaking ventures like this, there's always going to be risk periods and lessons learned. Unfortunately for this crew and this family, I'm sure we're going to find a whole bunch of that.
Yep. All right, Charlie. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.